Well, for his reaction to Pierre Poilievre's words and with more on the government's housing focus, we're now joined by the Federal Housing Minister and Nova Scotia MP Sean Fraser. Minister, thank you for being with us.
A pleasure, as always. Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you on. Listen, your reaction to Pierre Poilievre, who quite honestly gives your government points for fanfare, but nothing in actual accomplishments when it comes to housing. What do you say to that?
Look, it's been fascinating to see how much time and energy he's been spending on me personally the last couple of weeks. The reality is, I expect it's because he's seeing that we're making significant progress in the housing file and is trying to discredit the good work that's happening. Over the last number of weeks, in fact, just last week alone, we announced agreements worth more than $4 billion with developers right across the country to provide low-cost loans that will be paid back, but we secured agreements from those developers to actually offer units and new apartments at a price below than what the market will bear. This is through a program that we've been using over the last couple of years to actually help address the high cost of interest that builders are now facing by providing more favorable terms in exchange for commitments on affordability. He's also been critical of the fact that we're signing agreements with municipalities that's literally changing the way that cities build homes in this country. We're actually achieving more density around services, more density around transit. We're actually achieving more modern permitting systems and faster processes to actually get buildings built. When we continue to see the opposition and Mr. Poilievre raise concerns at the microphone when he has the opportunity, he should know that we're busy doing the hard work to get more homes built across this country.
Okay, well, you know, he went on, and I'm going to read this part to you, because he says, while we have seen a 400% increase in housing photo ops with Sean Fraser, since Sean Fraser became housing minister, we have seen a 14% reduction in real housing investment. You kind of listed off some of the accomplishments there, but in terms of real numbers, can you point to how much you've actually been able to create, to aim to create as you turn this focus to affordability?
Well, it's fascinating because the specific measuring stick that he's used in the clip that you've just read out to me now suggests that housing investment has gone down. Literally this morning, Stats Canada put out a report saying the opposite. In fact, we're seeing an increase in residential construction investment of about 7.9% this month. For multi-unit construction, it's up about 8.3%. For single-family home construction, it's up about 6.8%. The reality is the investments that we're making are starting to have an impact. But let's not pretend this started yesterday. There's nearly 500,000 homes that have benefited either through their construction being directly financed by the federal government or renovations to affordable housing units to the tune of 500,000 units that are actually existing and providing homes for people. We have seen many, many more that we've now secured agreements either through the Housing Accelerator Fund or through the Rental Construction Financing Initiative to get more homes built. Whenever we reach these agreements, you have to understand there may be a bit of a lag between the ink drying and the home being open for business, but thankfully we started a number of years ago, and we're going to continue to see a pipeline of programs that, or projects rather, that government programs have supported. I'm not interested in the political games around the issue. I'm interested in ending Canada's national housing crisis, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the results of some of the agreements that we've signed in recent weeks with cities right across the country.
Okay, let's walk away from some of the politics then, because, you know, if the reports are correct, and I suspect you're not going to try to confirm the reports right now, your government's about to unveil billions of dollars more for government-backed loans to create rental housing. But if that is and has been the direction, how do you ensure that that's affordable? Because average rent right now is $2,100, and quite frankly, as a proportion to salary, a lot of people are struggling against that.
A lot of people are struggling, and if we're going to find a solution for those people, we have to understand the nature of the problem. Part of the solution is going to require continued direct investments by different levels of government in affordable housing and social housing for low-income families. But we also need to make sure we're tackling the supply challenge, which is driving the prices up in cities across Canada because there is more demand than there is supply in the system. One of the things that I really like about the program that you're referring to, the Rental Construction Financing Initiative, is that it operates by providing the federal government's borrowing costs, which is lower than everybody else gets in the market, in exchange for direct commitments that they're going to make units available at market prices and below market prices. These are spelled out in binding agreements that actually form the basis of the loans that we're providing. So by addressing the supply, by securing agreements to keep the prices at and below market, at the same time we make direct investments in affordable housing, we're going to be able to grow the supply in a way that keeps prices low, but we should not ignore the fact that all supply helps. When we build a seniors apartment in collaboration with a partner, and someone moves into that new building, we see a family home open up as they seek to downsize, perhaps at the end of their career. The reality is there's a cascading impact when we build more supply, and we're going to have a mix of programs that target affordable housing, that provide low-cost loans in exchange for more building to get done, and more broad-based measures such as eliminating the GST to grow the supply overall. There's no silver bullet, but if we pull every lever we have, we can make a meaningful difference.
Okay, every lever. Does that include short-term property rentals? Because, you know, many housing advocates say that that actually keeps, as you know, affordable rents off of the market. Are you going to be cracking down on that?
We have to make sure we're dealing with areas where we can actually deliver meaningful change. I do believe there's an opportunity for the federal government to play a role, but municipalities and provinces also do. I'll note in particular some of the measures recently advanced by the provincial government in British Columbia. My belief is that we have an opportunity to use certain features of the Canadian tax system to disincentivize people from putting homes on the market and treating them as an investment or a commodity rather than a home for a family who's paying a fair price for rent. I do believe we have an opportunity in the days ahead to have movement on short-term rentals in this country, but we can't go it alone, but we're certainly going to be willing to do our part.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have about 25 seconds, but I do want to squeeze this in. What about tradespeople, though? Because you could put money there, you could talk about deals for financing, but without the people to build and the qualified people, how do you do that?
There's three things that we need to do. We need to continue to make investments in the skilled trades, and we have been in recent years to help grow the supply of workers that have the skills we need. We need to have targeted immigration programs, including using the change we made to the express entry system to have category-based selection, so we're bringing in people who have the skills we need. But we also need to change the way that we build homes. We don't build cars the same way we did 100 years ago. We build them in factories, on assembly lines. We can do the same thing with housing, and we're looking at different ways we can incentivize factory-built homes, whether it's modular housing, panelization, mass timber, 3D printing. The tech is out there. There are challenges in the industry, but we're working closely with the sector to identify the best solutions to deliver that scale that will help us address the very real challenge when we're trying to build millions of homes.
Minister Sean Fraser, appreciate the time. Thank you for that.
A pleasure, as always. Thank you.